welcome back to Empire Total War 2 with the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth. So, the best defense is an offense. We have had multiple nations declare war on us, and in the beginning we started off pretty defensive, although I did take Königsberg. But now we definitely need to step it up and go on the offensive. We need to end some of these wars so I can actually focus on building the home country. With that said, we've marched forward and my army is currently laying siege to Breslau in Silesia. And down here we're also advancing towards Klausenberg, Transylvania. So I'm going to go ahead and see if we can't deal with the vampires as well. I don't know if I did show this last time around, right? That I handed it off to the Crimeans because I wanted to block the Ottomans from coming up. So that's that. Anyways, let's jump straight into a battle, I say, because that's what I've got lined up for today. Now we do have the Prussians here, and could be difficult, but I figure because they have the artillery advantage, they will attack, they will sit on their asses, and I will win the battle that way. It's not a good way to win the battle, but it is a way to win the battle, and it's not my fault that they are so passive. With that said, let's go down here and have ourselves a fight. Now, the enemy outnumbers us, but I have the valor. My troops are highly experienced compared to the enemy, and we will hope that that is what brings us victory. With that said, let's march up and take this city. Now we're starting off with one hell of a barrage. I've got 3 batteries firing down upon the enemy. But the interesting thing here is we've both decided to deploy our troops left of the cannons, which means that my infantry is on this side and then his infantry is on this side. I think this will work though, because that means as I start to line up like this to move in, then my cannons are perfectly fine firing up the side if he moves his cannons to, or not his cannons, his infantry to face us. Currently the enemy is bombarding with cannon, so I'm gonna go ahead and move my general away just to make sure that we don't go ahead and blow ourselves up. I'm gonna order the infantry slightly more to this side, and then we're gonna have the grenadiers take a position to move towards this wooded area. Currently, because their battery is below this high ground right here, my cannons cannot fire upon them. So what I've decided to do is fire towards the mortars. But that hasn't really worked that well either. Now, some stray shots have been hitting the pikemen, which is good. But I think for the next shot, what I want to do is I would like to focus... Yes, there we go. I would like to focus my cannon shots bouncing through here, where we'll be able to do a maximum damage on the enemy infantry. Where we have quite a few infantry regiments. Interesting about this battle is this: it's all infantry. There's no cavalry, so it's all infantry and cannons. The enemy outnumbers us, but as I said in the beginning, we do have the experience on our side. It's gonna take me a bit to get into position to start the attack, so let the barrage continue. Well, now we have the battle starting, as they've been sending infantry forwards to meet us on the field, as well as my troops are now within striking distance of the enemy. I have selected one of my batteries here to aim for this militia unit, which is closer. But the other two continues to barrage this area here, doing plenty of damage. We're kind of out of line with quite a bit of troops here. I'm gonna move them just slightly here as we move forward. Best thing is not to wait, even though this smaller unit could very well be broken by this. It's best to send in and break that artillery before they are able to inflict more damage. They have been inflicting quite a bit of damage through the fight here, so it's kind of important to break them down. Although I don't want the unit getting destroyed, so I'm ordering them to pull back as soon as possible. They're being chased by the volunteers. Currently I'm holding fire to allow my unit to get out of harm's way. I'm gonna make sure that the cannons do not fire up our own lines. Looks like the enemy volunteers have decided to charge straight into my infantry here. They outnumber my infantry, but we've got this flanking company, Jipilu, enabled to put pressure on them while the 11th hold. I'm gonna put in Hios after his little excursion after the enemy regiment there, so that's good. Currently we've of course broken down one of their regiments, but we want to kill more of them through decisive action. Maybe speed them up a little bit. Prolonged firefight isn't going to do much for us. Oh, maybe I'll hold with any movements until the pike unit is broken, or at least for this first fight. Looks like they're going straight into my musketeer units here. Grenadiers can continue firing. This unit, I want to see if we can... oh, they stopped reloading. I was hoping to load up and have a close volley at greater volume, breaking them down. Now though, the pikemen are running back and forth through this firefight right here, which probably isn't doing too well in terms of their morale or their numbers. What I think we do, we have militia and provisional infantry. The pikes went in. Let's see. I'm hoping here that they get slaughtered. Their formation was broken up, but the 11th Regiment as well is suffering heavily due to this. To make sure, I'm going to throw in the other two regiments. They're pushing in the garrison regiment as well, but it's a little bit too late. I'm going to move the Grenadiers to aid in this fight here. Okay, now my troops are retreating, and the 11th Regiment decides to retreat straight into the enemy. Perfect. The Grenadiers have gone in, and hopefully we can deal with the militia. What I'm trying to do is I want to attack through here and see if we can break that up. Can you maybe extend the line a little bit? Currently we got pretty even fight here. Okay, the enemy was broken. Tunai, though, isn't... You know what, Tunai? Follow. And then I want the 2 grenadiers to follow through the gap that has been created. Okay, you're not actually going to be able to follow that. But I will be able to get grenades into the flank over here. And once this one's gone, I can start leveling an advantage onto the flank of the enemy. So whenever you're ready, you can start throwing grenades. I'm gonna have this regiment 3rd Ogona start advancing. Directly after the grenades have been thrown, the grenadiers charge in and overwhelm the 11th Regiment. Well, that's their hope anyways. Good. Continue to kill them as they're being chased away. I don't want them to rally. And I don't think they will. We're gonna bring the troops forward here. So now the grenadiers will be starting to flank the main body of the enemy. Currently, the way the enemy have set it up is that we're pushing almost all our fire onto the 4th Regiment right here. It's a little bit layered for the enemy. I wonder... A lot of our troops, the cohesion is pretty bad on a lot of them. Oh, they're reforming here. Under heavy musket fire. I don't think they will stand. I will order these 3 to advance. At the same time as these 2 advance as well. And from very close range here in the flank, 4th Regiment Kurt is in bad position. We've been taking a lot of fire out here on the flank. So we will gonna reset up the line. We're gonna have to pull back a little bit. Kurt has suffered heavily from the irregulars, the Parodurs. That makes sense. They have done a lot of damage on us. I wonder here if the garrison militia, if I can break that with a charge. Problem here is I can't use my cannons. Like, my cannons are no use against the enemy right now. Although, I guess we could possibly bounce the shots above if we hit for this unit right here. Tunai in a bad position, but if it just holds out a little bit, the pressure of all the regiments on the flank should break the 4th Regiment. There's a lot of these Parodurs here. I think we have a chance here if Hios Regiment does an attack on the 4th. And we're pretty close here, so if I can stop, if we can continue and get the rest of them to stop firing through melee attacks, that those melee attacks can be followed up by the Grenadiers. Right, we got them. We're gonna get full-on attack here. These two regiments can turn, kind of hold the paraders, while the Grenadiers make it across the field. And my army overwhelms the Austrians. Right, before, or as quickly as possible, we need to start to deal damage. Kurt is not liking that situation. They weren't able to hold out for very long, given the numbers. Heavy losses there. Hopefully here the enemy won't rally. I will set up the 11th to deal with the retreating, continue to fire upon them as they retreat. And then we're gonna see if we can line up the Grenadiers here to deal with the irregulars. Do we have a chance for Holt's Grenadiers to get close enough to throw grenades? That was a good volley, especially since they kind of lined up that well. And then the grenades hit in all of that. Give them another grenade before they are able to rally. And then Holt will lead the charge. Now we've got a regiment that's rallied. But I would say it's over and done for the enemy at this point. Let's see, did the smaller regiments rally? Yes, they did. Tunai is back. I'll just move him to block their retreat, and hopefully we can kill some as they're retreating. Why aren't you firing? Not entirely sure. Cannons continue to bombard here. Yeah, we can see the cannons here are giving way. 4th Regiment is giving way, even after just a little push from the 11th Regiment. Soon enough, the mortars will be dealt with as well. So you know what, ladies and gentlemen? Oh, look at that. We've got... Who has rallied all the way out here? The general... No, that's not... I forgot I put the general over there. And as I told him, go hide in the bush over there. I don't want to see you. But yeah, I will call this a victory, as the enemy has been thoroughly beaten. was a good battle in the sense that we won. Unfortunately for me, I lost half my force in the process. Now, we started off already at a disadvantage by about 400 men. And then the fact that, you know, I felt like, I mean, there are different ideas I had on how I could conduct the battle. But given the circumstances, I think it's fine. 800 men is a lot, though. In terms of who killed what, we've got Grenadiers. You can kind of tell by looking at the numbers afterwards. You can see, if you're interested in looking what your specific unit did, if you remember. We got 1 cannon gaining 3. Could that be the membership cannon? Would be a rather nice coincidence. You don't get the option to kind of loot or occupy or... But I don't think you get that in Empire at all, do you? I kind of wish I got the ability to just raid this place, because I don't think I'll be able to hold on to it. Especially as we've got quite the sizable force coming at us. Now, they don't really have cannons. I am in mind to pull back... Oh, the Prussians. Yes, the Prussians, of course. Did I say that the Prussians took Saxony? And there's a lot of them. They've got a huge army, which I definitely don't want to fight. And currently, Prussia is at war. They are at war with the Bavarians. So that's nice. But they are friendly with the Hanoverians. I wish there was still a war with the Austrians. Let's hope that they focus more on the Bavarians than they focus on us. However, to get to the Bavarians, you have to go all the way through here. That odd route. Now, we do have this forest in between us and them. And I don't think they have the movement power to get to us within 1 turn. So I think I could hold out here for 1 turn and then slip back to my home region to replenish. And also kind of see off this Prussian attack, which I might very well need to send extra troops to hold out here. And then maybe I'm able to take this and I can sue for peace with the Austrians. And I can get them off my back. Probably by giving them back some of the territory we take. Maybe all of it. Who knows? Repairing this really doesn't have any bearing, more than it makes it easier to hold it. But then again, I don't think I'm gonna be able to hold it at all. So yeah. Let's go ahead and see if there's any more battles in store for us by ending turn. We have enemy raids, which are to be expected. They raid this school. It's not great. Election results. I'd hope I didn't have elections. Weaver's house. Yes, I am able to spend a little bit money on building up infrastructure behind lines. We have rebellious spirit going on here. No surprise. And a letter of demand from the upper classes. Troops recruited though, so I've got new winged hussars, 2 units. And more line infantry regiment, and hopefully this army has gained some replenishment, and I would say yes, it has gained some replenishment, although not really enough, have they? What I'm thinking I'm going to do is I'm going to take the 11th and I'm going to merge that with one of the name regiments. So the 11th was just a random regiment with a no-name regiment. The Prussians here pulled back, but I think it was just to pick up more troops. The Austrians building all the forces together to put them here. This force stands against the winged hussars to come into the aid of this army. What I think we'll do... Currently, Austria seems to be the weaker target here, because, like, now when we've beaten them, I don't know where their armies are. I'm gonna send my army down here. Yeah, where are all their troops? Are they going one by one here to the east? What is the situation for Austria? Because it seems like they're not doing too well. They're rich. They're moderate. I am feeble, so they should have more troops than me. They're only at war with me and the pirates and the Muslim pirates. So there's no real where is their army though? It's not here. It's not here. This and this certainly cannot make them strong. Where else? They do not have. The only thing we don't see. Are they building a massive army in Croatia? What's going on? Where are the Austrians? Now, as much as I want to continue pushing through and completely beating the Austrians, I feel like we need to pick one enemy at a time. I can't be attacking multiple here. And I'm very worried about the Prussians. I'm very worried about the Prussians. Because they've got so many more troops. And I can see where they are. They're affluent and mighty. So yeah, they're a lot stronger than the Austrians. I'm thinking second battle in Klausenberg, unless there's a force hidden here. Oh, I won't be able to make it. Or at least, yeah, even with without the cannons, I won't be able to make it. What do I have here? We do have more line infantry being recruited here. I don't really need it down here though. I feel like that's a done deal. So this infantry will be sent up to the capital instead. We'll hold. We'll go ahead and actually repair this and see if we cannot try and hold on to this, as the enemy is not really fighting here. We'll repair this, and then for the second battle we'll see about taking Klausenberg. Taking out these two territories, then what I might do is I might just hand these back. I don't know if you heard that. I was rearranging the chair a little bit. Squeaked like hell. Maybe I shouldn't do that. What? Yes, so then handing them back, signing a peace deal with the Austrians, and then we focus on dealing with Prussians. See if we can break them down. But yeah, we're gonna have to end turn though, so that we can actually make the jump to this area. So let's go ahead and end turn. Tenant farms sabotaged. Oh crap, the Prussians right here. And there's a lot of them. The Iron Workshop was broken down due to riots. There's no way I'd be able to hold against this army. It's like entirely grenadiers. And also, it's the bloody Prussians. And have a good general as well. Interesting how it's Leopold von Anhalt-Dessau. And all his, or like he had, wasn't there a regiment here? There, yeah, these grenadiers. Or is that because, do they get different names if you recruit them and different? Because these seem like the same type of grenadier. No, they aren't. They have different stats. They have quite different stats. But they look the same on the picture, so I thought, oh, maybe the grenadier will get whatever name they're recruited from. But I guess Empire's not that advanced. Right. My army can definitely not stand against the Prussian full stack, since I've broken down half stack. We need to win this fight, and we need to hand this to... Oh crap, there's the other one. There's the other Prussian force. And that one's larger. Right. Let's hope... I want to see here. I want to see if they actually got anything. Where is the Austrian army? Well, there it is. There we got the answer. How? I don't know. Like, where are they? There's nothing. If I was at war with just Austria, I could have taken it all, probably. But the Prussians are quite the concern. So we're gonna fight here. And we're gonna hopefully sign a peace deal with the Austrians. And then we can focus all our attention to dealing with those bloody Prussians. And so the battle is underway. Initially, my forces were gathered roughly around here. I realized the enemy had basically given me the control of the high ground just beyond the village here. And so, obviously, I marched to take control of it. As we can see, my troops have marched up onto the hill to take control of it. The only problem I really have is I found what I thought was a pretty good artillery position here when I could shell them. The problem is I actually selected the hussars there, didn't I? There's so many houses here that I cannot really get a good hit on the enemy. Or like I can't select an enemy for them to fire at because the cannons don't want to fire. Because there's so many houses in the way. So I'm trying to tear down as many houses as I can. And the meanwhile, it looks like I'll be able to take on and hopefully kill quite a few of these mercenary dragoons, which I've been trying to hit with my artillery, which didn't really pan out. I have the high ground, so I can kind of understand why the enemy doesn't advance. Then we tore down another house. They're sitting kind of on the back slope there, so we don't actually have that many of those dragoons within range. They're lining up to shoot on this regiment, Wyatt. We'll move a little bit forward here, change the position, and maybe we'll be able to actually slay these dragoons. I don't want to go any further with the main force as to trigger... Okay, now we've already got tons of their infantry advancing. I'm gonna switch for the cannons to actually be firing on these now. We've torn down quite a few houses. I don't see the dragoons holding on much longer. Instead, I want to get a better position for my infantry so they will march forward to take a position where they can fire down upon the enemy. Is he firing on us? Because I kind of want him to move out of the cover from the buildings. Maybe we'll just go slightly back. Hopefully to get him out of there. Dragoons, slowly but surely being broken down. We can then advance on the 4th Regiment. And hopefully the 4-inch mortar. Actually, the enemy is firing us, and we're not really able to fire back. Given the terrain. Let's go ahead and advance here. Just a little bit. Are there any pikes? Seems like it's mostly grenadiers and stuff. Right, forward. Forward. That was a good hit. And I think when we broke down the house, it probably killed quite a lot of Austrians, which is wonderful. And now we got Nick's light infantry starting firing over here. We should go a little bit further so that we can fire down the ridge. We'll continue advance pretty close to these before we hold to fire. I want to make as much of an impact with the volley as possible to make sure that we can throw these guys off. Okay, they're basically upon us. Closer than that, they are to come. Unfortunately, not too many of the troops were ready with the muskets. In terms of casualties on our sides, they're pretty low. Can't be said the same for the enemy. Maybe I should specifically order the cannons to be firing here on the cluster of 3 regiments. The vampire cavalry has been pushed back. I'm gonna order the 6th to turn slightly to face these volunteers, and I want this regiment at the same time, actually multiple regiments here, to move up to gain better position on that, while this regiment will hurry up and move towards the mortar battery. Are my guns firing? Yes, they are. We still have quite a bit of reserve being held back here. Maybe it's, you know what, I could probably, with a few good charges, or a single good charge actually, probably go down and just send loads of these Austrians away. That cavalry unit is doing some odd stuff. I'm gonna march through and I'm gonna go for the mortars. I don't know if it's very useful that you're just firing on these guys when you could be firing on the late style grenadiers. We got some really good cannon shots in the early start. Where is those cannon shots gone now? Now we seem to be hitting all over the place. But I've got 1 regiment now managed to infiltrate, get in around behind, and send away the mortar crew. I don't think that cavalry over there is going to do anything to us, so I'm going to turn around and we're going to focus in a lot of fire on these guys right here. If in case these guys decide to do anything, I think they'll break just by the sheer fact that they're in terrible cohesion and they're all spread out, so they're not going to be able to really do anything. Or they moved one of these to deal with the regiment that broke through. Where are my winged hussars? I should have moved them earlier. Then they could be here by now. I'm gonna move Nick forward. Enemy general got killed. He was in the mortar. Oh. I'm gonna move Nick slightly forward to give him a better position to fire, and also I think the entire regiment was firing on these rather than straight forward, so we weren't getting full amount of fire. Now that we do outnumber these guys by quite a bit in terms of overall, but these are grenadiers, so I've no interest right now of charging them. But that might change. You can see quite a few of their regiments. Oh, now they're sending in the pikes. Cannons focusing on the pikes. Charging pikes is a bad idea, but if the pikes themselves conduct a charge, get spread out, that could open up for our own charge to go through. And as long as the pike isn't as long as the pointed part of the pike isn't pointing at you, it's just a bloody stick. Now they've actually focused up a lot more to fire upon us. So rather than have these guys get completely annihilated, they've lost quite a few men actually. I will turn them towards the cavalry. We have multiple units here that are in the throes of retreating. I will have Nick's regiment turn to sort of look at the pikes instead. I will order these guys back as it looks like the enemy is turning that way. The enemy broke, so I don't have to worry about these guys getting attacked in the back. And we've got multiple enemy regiments breaking apart here. I ordered the cannons to focus on the pikemen, but I'm not sure if that's wise. They're too close to the cavalry. You know what, let's push forward further. Drive home the defeat of these three. The cavalry's gone. I doubt they'll be coming back. Let's drive this side forward and then have this side move away. I think they might be moving on Nix now, which means that Izzy will turn to be facing these guys, while the 2nd Hussar Regiment will gain the high ground, ready to pounce down upon the troops below. Perfect flank fire up the side of the 23rd Regiment. Yeah, they break pretty quickly. Mortars are back, but I doubt they'll be able to actually do anything. The pikes aren't losing that many, but they're moving through heavy forested area, which is covering a lot. Plus the terrain might be uneven in such a way that... Okay, they're conducting their charge. I'm conducting my. I'm ordering in the Hussars. We're pushing down as much musket fire on these guys as possible. Right as they go in for the charge, the Hussars strike them in the back. So the pikemen are stuck in between Nick's regiment and Izzy's Hussars. Oh yeah, the cannons are still firing on those. You know what? Hold fire, because now we might just go ahead and shoot our own. Yeah, the pikes got completely destroyed. 6th Regiment temporarily forced back. Izzy's Hussar did that charge without losing a single trooper. Not a single Hussar died. Now the cohesion is pretty bad, but we do not care. A single pikeman managed to get away. Now they lost a few, but they're absolutely slaughtering. I didn't realize there was so much impossible terrain here. My winged Hussars completely destroying the enemy formations. I want the cannons to focus in on the enemy cavalry. Alright, the winged hussars are going through and then they're gonna kill everything. I want all the infantry to hold fire as they risk the firing on themselves or firing on our troops. Nick will form a square as there's a risk of as the provincial cavalry is pulling forward. Now my hussars are strung out all over the place, which could allow their provincial cavalry to possibly do some damage to us, but I kinda doubt it. As soon as they move away from here, I'll be able to lay fire down upon the enemy down there. My hussars could just go ahead and... Okay, they're not bothered with that. They're gonna go ahead and destroy the provincial cavalry as well. Alright, go ahead and chase after these, and I'll deal with the last regiment. And then we'll call this a victory. And with that, we've won the battle. And let's see if we can't strike a peace deal with the Austrians after this.
Here's the result of the battle. I thought it went pretty well. I still ended up losing 1,000 men, which is a third of my army. Now, the charge there that Izzy conducted when he brought in the hussars from the back killed the enemy unit. Didn't lose a single hussar in that attack. Pretty wonderful, and I'd say He's probably the one that killed the most, followed by the light infantry. So Nick's light infantry, able to get 351 kills, and then we follow down with the rest of them. Even the general managed to get quite a few kills. Now with that, we are now in possession of Klausenberg, and what I'm going to do is, I think it's more important to minimize the border against the Prussians. So to start off with, I'm gonna ask peace with the Austrians by giving them back Breslau, and we'll go from there. Now the Austrians have been reduced quite a bit. They've lost 2 territories out of, they have a total of 4 left, so 2 out of 6, a third of the country is now under occupation, our occupation. Now I'm gonna be so generous, so hand part of that back. I'm not interested in giving them any technology they might use against me though. Money, maybe a little bit money I will be offered. 1500 Silesia. I think that's, and a trade deal on that. How about that, Austria? Does that sound like peace? Their demands, they demand a third of my country instead. More than a third actually. Lithuania, Galicia, and the Belarus region as well. This is insane. But so are the Habsburgs, inbred bastards. Shouldn't expect more from them. Right, the war continues then. I doubt we'll be able to figure out a better deal. With that, I don't think we'll be able to hold on against this army. There's a lot of dangerous units here coming on attack. Now we will be dug in though, and I will be having 3 cannons. And if my university gets canister, which it should do, then that changes the deal quite a bit. Canister means that we'll have a good way of taking on the enemy once they get close to us. And if I'm able to dig in a good way, I should be able to see them off. This army, however, that's going to be a completely different deal against the troops that I've got up here. And unfortunately, we got nothing to support them, because these bastards are still holding this area. What I think I might do is, since we've gone ahead, this one is the one I'm more confident that I will hold, because we've got an equal amount of troops. This one not so much. The question is, would I evacuate this area and let the Prussians take it and then hope to fight somewhere else? Or should we fight to the death here and take as many Prussians with us as possible? And it's also, I have 3,000. Should I recruit troops here to, bring up, I can get 3 units. So most likely 3 regular musketeers, extra units to bolster this army. But is that building on something that's really a futile fight? And should I instead spend the money here to make sure that the chances of victory here are a lot better in a fight that we know we can win? So there are... I think I'm going for this. Rather than risk losing both, I think we'll go for heavy reinforcement of this region to make sure that that holds. These guys will do what they will do. Here, in between episodes, I think I'll take these guys out, so I destroy that. And Klausenberg, I'm not entirely sure. It looks like if the Austrians stay away, and they don't actually come marching down this way, and I'm able to hold this without much trouble, then I think that I will bring these back around up here. Because continuing through here, going towards taking out Hungary, will be problematic as well. And currently we are, like, the further we go in here, they're promoting German culture here. Oh yeah, it is actually changing. But there's no Germans here actually at all. Why would I want to have such a place here? I didn't realize the Austrians had that. They are actually building those everywhere. So they're promoting German culture in a lot of their different areas. Huh. Anyways, we're gonna torch this place, of course. No, we cannot stand for that. Now, canister isn't as useful as it's in other mods, but it's still gonna be pretty useful. That 3 extra troops will hope that this one, as previously, doubles back rather than attacks. Well, that's a huge gamble. And then, of course, we forget about the Swedes. The Ottomans will get a line out against us sooner or later. There's a lot of troubles. There's a lot of troubles. But we won 2 victories today, and we took 2 territories of one of our most hated enemies, which is wonderful. And so, with that, I will say as I always say, hopefully you guys enjoyed it, and hopefully I'll see you guys for the next one. Bye!